is a unique quiet that settles into a house after a lifetime of noise. Do you know the one I mean? It's not an empty quiet, not the silence of a vacant space. No, this quiet is filled with the echoes of everything that came before. It's a resonant silence. If you listen closely, you can still hear them. The phantom sounds of children's laughter, sharp and bright, chasing through these very hallways. The memory of the front door swinging open, bringing in the smell of rain and the triumphs of a Little League game, and swinging shut, carrying out the worries of a long day at work. You can almost feel the ghost of conversations around a dinner table, laden with food and hopes and plans for a future that is, in so many ways, now the past. You built this place, not just with wood and nails and a mortgage paid off over 30 years, but with your energy, your patience, your heart. Every scuff on the floor tells a story you remember. Every worn spot on this very chair is a map of the thousands of hours you spent waiting for them to come home from school, from a date, from college, waiting for a fever to break in the sweat-soaked darkness of 3 in the morning, waiting for the phone to ring with good news, with bad news, with any news at all. You were the anchor, the steady center of it all, the sun around which so many other lives orbited, drawing their warmth and their schedule from your constant, reliable light. You packed the lunches, you mended the scraped knees, you listened to the heartbreaks over bad grades and first loves, and you celebrated the victories, big and small. You often placed your own needs, your own dreams so far on the back burner, they simply turned to smoke and disappeared into the ventilation of a busy life. It was your job, your purpose, your love made manifest in 1,000 small, thankless, and utterly necessary acts. And you did it well. You did it so very well. But the seasons turn, as they always must. The saplings you tended grew into towering trees with their own sprawling branches, casting their own shadows, reaching for their own light. They started families of their own, built houses of their own, filled with a noise all their own. The nest, once so full of chirping and commotion, is now orderly, tidy, quiet. And in this quiet, a question can sometimes arise, soft as a whisper, but loud enough to be heard in the stillness of the late evening. After all those years of pouring yourself out for everyone else, who is left to pour back into you? It's a question that feels selfish to ask, doesn't it? After a life of service, a life defined by your utility to others, it can feel almost wrong to consider your own needs. It feels like a betrayal of the role you perfected for so long. But the question remains, hanging in the golden light of the setting sun, patient and persistent. It is a strange and unfamiliar landscape, this chapter of life. The ground beneath your feet, once so solid and certain, now feels different, unsettled. It's a feeling that's hard to put into words, even to yourself. It's the loving yet unmistakably patronizing tone in your own child's voice on the telephone. "Dad, are you sure you should be climbing that ladder?" "We'll handle the finances, Mom. Don't you worry your head about it." They mean well, of course they do. Their concern is born of the very love you instilled in them, a love that now seeks to protect you. But with every well-intentioned piece of advice, a small piece of your own authority, your own sovereignty seems to chip away. You who taught them how to tie their shoes and balance a checkbook and navigate the complexities of the world are now being gently managed as if you've forgotten the rhythms of your own life. It is a slow, quiet erosion of the person you have always been, the capable one, the one in charge. And then there is the body, your faithful companion for so many decades, the vessel that carried you through hard work and long nights, that gave you strength when you thought you had none left. Now it offers daily unwelcome surprises, an ache in a joint that wasn't there yesterday, a newfound hesitation at the top of the stairs, a quick calculation of risk that never used to happen. The words that sit on the tip of your tongue but refuse to be summoned. It is a constant, quiet reminder that you are no longer the undisputed master in your own physical house. It has its own plans now. And beyond these personal frontiers, the world itself seems to be spinning faster and faster in a direction you no longer recognize. You turn on the news and see vast impersonal forces, new technologies, shifting economies, political winds you can't predict, making decisions that will shape your grandchildren's world, and you feel utterly, completely powerless, a spectator to a play you helped set the stage for. This feeling, this weight of unseen things, the sense of being unheard, of losing control over your life, your family, your world. It is not your fault. Let me say that again. This is not a personal failing. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a shared, unspoken burden carried by so many who have walked as many miles as you have. You have carried the weight of your family's world on your shoulders for so long. It is only natural to feel the ground shift when that weight is finally lifted. It is time to set that burden down. It was never truly yours to carry forever.
If you feel as though you are wrestling with these feelings alone, I want to share something with you. This struggle, this feeling of watching a world spin beyond your influence, of feeling your own domain shrink, is not a modern problem. It is not unique to our time or to you. In fact, it is a struggle as ancient as civilization itself. It is a fundamental part of the human story. I want to introduce you to an old friend. You've never met him, but he knew you. He knew your worries intimately. His name was Marcus Aurelius, and nearly 2,000 years ago, he was the most powerful man on earth, the Emperor of Rome. From the outside, he commanded legions that stretched across the known world. He ruled over millions of people of 100 different tongues. His every word was law. He had, it seemed, ultimate control. But in the quiet moments of his own life, when he was alone with his thoughts, he felt the exact same powerlessness that you might feel today. He wasn't worried about the stock market. He was worried about the vast, unstoppable Antonine plague that swept through his empire, killing millions. He wasn't worried about his children's careers. He was worried about betrayal from his most trusted general, Avidius Cassius. He felt the crushing, unending responsibility for the lives of countless people whose choices he could not control, whose fates he could not secure. His crown, he realized, was just a heavy piece of metal, his throne just a decorated chair. His true challenges were the same as ours: how to be good, how to be calm, and how to be strong when the world around you is steeped in chaos. In the pre-dawn hours, in his tent on the pre-dawn frontiers of Germania, he wrote to himself. He wasn't writing for us or for history. He was writing to remind himself of a timeless wisdom, a kind of internal compass for leaders, for parents, for elders, a philosophy that taught him not how to conquer the world, but how to conquer himself. It was a secret he held close, that true power had nothing to do with his armies or his throne. It was a strength found in stillness, a peace found in acceptance, a freedom found in letting go. This ancient perspective does not offer easy answers or quick fixes. It offers something far more valuable. It offers a truth that your own long life has already been whispering to you. A confirmation that the answers you seek are not out there in the loud, chaotic world. They have been inside you all along.
So what was the emperor's secret? What was this profound truth that could steady a man while his world was burning? It is a simple idea, but within it lies a lifetime of peace. It is this: you must learn to separate what you can control from what you cannot. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But think about it. Really think about the last 24 hours of your life. How much of your mental and emotional energy was spent on things that were entirely outside of your control? You cannot control the choices your adult children make. You love them, you guide them, but their lives are their own. Their anxieties and their decisions are ships they must captain themselves. You cannot control the pains of an aging body. You can care for it, yes, but you cannot command away the ache in your back or the stiffness in your hands. You cannot control the chaos of the world, the economy, the politics, the endless churn of news and noise. To spend your precious energy worrying about these things, trying to command them with your mind, is like standing on the shore and shouting at the tide to stop. It is a recipe for exhaustion and despair. But there is a small, sacred territory over which you have absolute, unquestionable sovereignty. As Marcus wrote to himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your mind, your inner world. You have complete control over your response to all of these things. You control your thoughts, your judgments, your actions. This is what the ancients called the inner citadel. Think of it not as a cold stone fortress designed to keep the world out, but as a beautiful, peaceful inner garden that you and only you have the key to. It is a place of quiet strength within you that no person and no circumstance can ever touch. Imagine an ancient oak tree in a field. It does not waste its energy fighting the wind. It does not curse the coming storm or lament the winter cold. It has spent its life, season after season, doing one thing: growing deep roots. When the gales come, it bends, it yields. It may lose a few leaves, a few small branches, but it does not break. Its strength comes not from resisting the storm, but from its deep, unshakable connection to the earth. Your life's experience, your wisdom, your character, every hardship you've overcome, and every joy you've savored, these are your deep roots. It is time to stop fighting the wind and to start trusting your roots.
This idea of an inner garden is beautiful, but how do we begin to cultivate it in our daily lives? It is not a grand, dramatic act. It is a series of small, quiet choices made moment by moment. It is a gentle practice, like tending to a plant. Let us imagine a common situation. Your son or daughter calls, their voice tight with worry about their job, their children, their future. The old response, the one born of a lifetime of parental habit, is to immediately absorb their anxiety, to take their burden on as your own. You hang up the phone, and their worry becomes your worry, churning in your stomach for the rest of the day, replaying the conversation, searching for solutions to problems that are not yours to solve.
The wise response, the one from your inner garden, is different. You listen. You listen with your entire being, with love and with empathy. You offer what comfort you can. That sounds incredibly difficult. I'm here for you. But you recognize that their anxiety belongs to them. It is their storm to weather. You do not have to pull their ship into your own peaceful harbor and let it smash against the docks. You love them, you support them, but you do not carry their emotional weight. You calmly return to your own peace after the call, knowing you have done what you could, which was to listen, and the rest is not in your control. Or consider this. You wake up in the morning, and a new ache has made itself known in your hip. The old response is to despair, to see it as another sign of decline, another battle lost against time. This thought can color your entire day with frustration and sadness. The practice of wisdom is to acknowledge the sensation without the negative story. You simply say to yourself, there is a feeling of pain in my hip today. You observe it without judgment. You do what you can for it. You stretch, you take a warm bath, you rest. And then you deliberately turn your focus to the parts of you that are still strong, the hands that can still hold a good book, the eyes that can still watch the birds at the feeder, the heart that can still feel gratitude for the morning sun. When loneliness creeps in during a long, quiet afternoon, you don't just sit and wait for the phone to ring. You find purpose in a small, controllable act that is entirely within your domain. You write down a family story you want your grandkids to remember. You organize a drawer that has been bothering you. You tend to your garden, literally and figuratively. You control your own small, beautiful domain.
Our culture speaks of the golden years, but it often does so with a tone of pity, as if the gold is just a cheap plating over a period of decline. It frames this time as an epilogue, a gentle fading before the curtains close. This is a profound and sad mistake. It misses the entire point. This chapter of your life is not an ending, it is a culmination. It is the era your entire life, every struggle, every joy, every heartache, every lesson learned, has been preparing you for. The world shouts that value comes from doing more, achieving more, accumulating more. But you have graduated from that school. The wisdom of the ages, from Marcus Aurelius to the great masters of the East, teaches us that the final, greatest work of a human life is to move from doing to being. Your worth is no longer measured by your productivity, your job title, or your role in the family hierarchy. It is measured by the depth of your character, the stillness of your mind, the peace you cultivate within. This is not a time of loss, it is a time of shedding. You are shedding the things that were never truly important, the anxieties of others, the need for external control, the worry about opinions, the fear of the unknown. And what is left when all of that falls away? Your truest self, pure, resilient, calm. Your legacy, what a heavy word that can be. People think it's about the money you leave behind or the stories people will tell. But your true legacy is far more alive, far more powerful than that. Your true legacy is the peace you create within your own heart. It is a serenity so deep, so authentic, that it radiates from you like warmth from a hearth. It is the calm that steadies the anxious grandchild who sits beside you. It is the quiet strength that reassures the worried child who calls you on the phone. It offers a silent, powerful lesson to everyone who enters your presence, that it is possible to face the uncertainties of life with grace,
dignity, and a quiet, unconquerable strength. This is the final, greatest gift you can give to your family and to the world. Not another possession, not another piece of advice, but the living, breathing example of a life lived wisely and lived well. This is not the twilight. This is the golden hour, and it is yours to cherish.